Hello, what have we here?
You're wrong.
Damn! What the hell was that?
Game over, man. Game over.
You're wrong.
You finished?
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Greetings, boys and girls, lemurs and squirrels, and welcome to the Week in Geek, a wholly owned subsidiary of Free Range Idiocy, wherein we, your gentle, idiotic hosts, present our midweek dose of geekery for you, not people. Sit back and relax as we scrape the best news we found off the bottom of the interweb shoe and let you know exactly how we feel about it. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the lead editor-in-chief, bottle washer of the Week in Geek. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. It's been a bit. It's been a little bit.
Just a little, as you've been globe-trotting and gallivanting. And, some of us have been, holding down the fort here. Oh, for God's sake, the friggin' belt again.
Going worldwide, baby, worldwide.
Worldwide, across the Midwest to New England. Okay, let's calm down. Calm down, sir.
Excuse me, let us not forget about my jaunt to Dallas, Texas. So.
Oh, yes. Never mind. I'm not going to piss off a whole bunch of people in Dallas. They're already pissed off enough with the Cowboys, so we don't need to do anything there.
And let's not forget about my trip down to South America.
We already talked about that, though.
I know, but still, in the month of October, I went to a few different places, my friend.
Okay, fine. Actually, can we talk about your? Did we violate an NDA on your Colombia trip, or? I love how you have to think about that one.
No, we did not.
Oh crap! I'm so getting fired.
No, we did not.
Oh, all right. Well, we've got a couple things we're going to talk about here. We are not doing a standard Week in Geek because we've got a couple things here to catch up on, and then we're going to recap Saturday night's main event, which just happened back on, what is it? So today's a Sunday. It would have been the 1st of November.
Would have been yesterday.
I know.
Sweet Moses, man. Bye.
Yeah. It's been a hell of a decade this year. So
it has.
What do we want to start with here? Where do we want to start with? What do we want to
I've
start
entitled this Week in Geek, What a Long, Strange Trip It's Been. Because
yes, this is hearkening back to your days on the road with fish.
Indeed. But yes, we have, well, you, sir, do you have some greetings for us?
Yes. I'm actually not sure if how accurate these are because I did this I think I think I did this recently. Anyways, greetings from wherever you are. Our favorites, folks who are listening and watching from outside of the US of A. A big howdy to all the folks in Brazil, the UK, India, Bangladesh, and Canada.
Bangladesh.
I know that one kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, seriously?
Nice.
Yeah. So howdy to all those folks in those localities all across the world.
Once again, we're going worldwide, baby. Do I need to get the belt to show that or no?
No,
okay,
you don't.
I'll leave it alone.
You're going to pull something if you keep doing that.
Oh, yes.
I'm guessing you haven't stretched, and all that clam chowder you ate over the last couple days is going to come back and bite you.
Oh my God. It was glorious, ladies and gentlemen. Well,
I'm sure your wife thought so as you're driving back to the Midwest with an entire digestive system full of clams in the same car.
Bingo. Yes, we have some tales from the road that we're going to get to. But first, before we get to the tales from the road, we have some catching up to do. Tales from the Fantasy Gridiron.
You better make this quick, all right?
7 through 9, ladies and gentlemen.
Do we really have to recap every week?
We have to every single week.
Just who
down
won and
to
lost.
the player and the performance. We're going to be here for 4 hours.
No, we're not. We're not.
All right. Week 7 and 8, real quick. How did you do?
I won, you lost.
No,
how
that's
about
that's
week 8?
True. That's not true.
Week 7, I won 156 to 120, and you lost 206 to 180. Unless we're looking at two different leagues.
Okay. You don't have to get all testy on me.
Okay, but you start questioning me, and I'm like, no, I'm looking at it right here. Don't start gaslighting me.
I'm not gaslighting you. I just wanted to make sure we're talking about.
And
the
then
same
week
thing.
8, I won and you won with almost identical scores, which was kind of eerie, to be quite honest.
Oh wow, that is true. Well,
Yeah.
not really. You won 199 to 115. What the heck happened to Joe Buck yourself?
I know. He was a top team in the league that week.
Dang.
I meant our scores.
Pistol whipping.
I meant our. Yeah, it was a prison pound.
Oh,
right there.
you meant 199 to 190. I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
And
we were-
fueling all of this for me, and I'll just give my MVP for weeks 7 and 8. Drake May into the starting lineup because Lamar Jackson going down.
Patriots.
Holy hell! The Pats apparently wandered in the quarterback desert for a whole 4 years and have their new franchise quarterback. So then
I would have loved to have seen how that trade would have worked if I actually traded up a couple players. You would have been dead.
The thing is, like, I only thought about it for a moment because I was thinking like Derrick Henry, and then I started to remember just how long Derrick Henry had been in the league. I'm like, no, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. May I offer you a Geno Smith?
Yeah.
And then you managed to get Joe Flacco, who,
dude,
what the hell's going on there?
Oh, the resurrection of Joe Flacco.
He's like a less problematic Jeff George at this point.
Behold the Flacco.
Oh my God. I'd rather not, actually. So that brings us to week 9, where right now you,
Today.
sir, are like going off, as the kids would say, and I am going in the absolute wrong direction. But so why don't we start with you? Best in the world, as of this week, you are best in the world is 2-6, holding down the number 10 spot, only because there aren't 11 teams in our league. So yeah, 2-6. And I am 3-5, holding down the 7 spot. So yeah, neither one of our teams is exactly lighting the world on fire, but we're still pseudo in this, I guess. Okay. So how's your week going so far?
Week is going smashingly. Hollywood Joe Flacco, ladies and gentlemen, today 31 completions, 470 passing yards.
Are you kidding me?
4 passing touchdowns, 2 ints, 1 rushing attempt, -1 rushing yards, 1 2-point attempt that was good, and 1 fumble lost. 64 fantasy points, which in our league is chef's
holy
kiss right
crap!
there.
Some of the numbers that you've got going here are unfrackin' real.
That's
your
right.
flex spot and one of your wide receivers, especially.
T. Higgins, 7 receptions, 121 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion as well. I got 2 players on the same team with the 2-point conversion.
Good for 33.
33 fantasy points. Stephon Diggs, he did a paltry 12. I'll take it.
Paltry. I would have taken 12 for a couple of my wide receiver spots today.
Let me see. Who is this? Khalil Shakir of Buffalo got a paltry 11. My bar's raised here a little bit. I need more production.
Oh yeah, because you're going to be 3-6 all of a sudden. Now you're living high on the hog.
Oh my gosh, baby! I'm making a run for 6th place. I get in the playoffs once again, and I make a run for it as always.
You're like Iron Mike Sharp one time when somebody forgot to kick out. You know?
I just need the forearm pad. That's all I'm missing. Let's see.
You keep patting yourself on the back. You're going to need one.
Jaylen Warren, running back out of Pittsburgh, 33 fantasy points. He had 2 rushing touchdowns for 31 rushing yards as well. Derrick Henry actually did worse than him, 31 fantasy points. He had, no touchdowns, just 119 rushing yards. And then my man, Devontae Adams. Woo! 2 receiving touchdowns, 5 receptions, 60 yards. He put up 23 fantasy points.
And you left some serious money on the table in your running back position.
Forget about Cameron, the kicker dicker. He put up 11 points, and then Baltimore, they went house on defense, 24 fantasy points. So I have right now I have for the week 242 points. All my players have played. I have this one pretty much locked up. I don't think my opponent's going to coming back here.
You could have been over 250 this week had you started this guy from Chicago that you got sitting on your bench.
I know. I picked
48.
I picked up Kyle Manangi? I don't know.
Sounds good to me, yeah.
But yes, he put up 48, 176 rushing yards. He was killing me.
Almost put in a claim for him, and I did not.
Yeah, well, tough luck. And then here we go. Jameson Williams of Detroit. I have a love-hate relationship with this player.
Yeah. Because
I love to bench him, and then he goes on a scoring spree, and then when I play him, he does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
So Hollywood Brown is 9 points. But because Flacco had a shoulder injury, I was thinking about starting Jeff Goff from Detroit. I almost pulled the trigger, but I held off. I said, no. I'm going to have faith in the Flacco, and he has not. He has yet to prove me wrong in putting said faith into him. So I am now leading my opponent 242 to 194. Pretty much have a victory locked up. I'm going to be tied with Uncle Todd and actually this team that I'm playing at 3 and we'll all be 3 and 6, I believe. And with the points I've amassed, maybe I will move up to beyond just 9th place. But I am starting to march valiantly towards 6th place. We play the top 6 teams in our league our top 6 teams in the league go into the playoffs. So as long as I can get into that 6th or 5th place slot, I will have my run, my defense of the World Championship of Fantasy Football. So, all right, what's going on your side of the world?
Once again, I'm just being smote. It was a good couple weeks. It was a good couple weeks just to get my hopes up, and now that's what's happening. Drake May, in
Debo you trust, yes?
Yeah, Drake May and Kyron Williams, the two bright spots for me today, 44 and 42 points. After a great performance last week, I felt really good about picking up Nick Chubb. The Chubb has deflated a bit this week.
The Chubb has slimmed down.
It's much more Nick Flaccid this week. 14 points. And then kind of a very pedestrian week from Warren as my tight end. Usually he's good for double digits, only 7 points. And, yeah, right now I'm basically counting on Deebo Samuel and Marvin Harrison Jr. to somehow completely go off tonight and tomorrow because I've got, who's this guy, the running back from Dallas, Javonte Williams is the last player to go for my opponent, and he already has 179. So right now it's projected points are at 209 to 168 with me getting my tail kicked in. Honestly, with the way this year has gone, I can't argue with Yahoo on that one. So we will see how things go throughout the evening because we are about 6 minutes away from kickoff for the Sunday night game, and we'll see what Debo has in store.
Excellent.
But yeah, great. Woo.
Best in the world, baby. We're making a run for the gold that I already have. Can't buy this belt anymore. It's not for sale.
I can't wait for you one of these days when you're putting that belt down and you're just going to keel over and just going to be feet on the screen. I'm just waiting for that. Oh, what a day that will be. What a day that will be.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, from the Fantasy Gridiron, we shift to now Tales from the Road. It has been a busy couple of weeks for the man they call Tim. He traveled. I have been traveling around the world.
He traveled? Are you now talking about yourself in the third person?
Maybe.
Seriously?
I
you
think
turn
so.
into Ricky Henderson here? Is that what we're going to do? You need to steal a couple thousand bases before you can start pulling that off.
The Rock said. Oh, my gosh. But a couple of weeks ago, took a trip down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area for work. Had myself a productive and good work trip. But while I was down there, got to sample some fine foods from two establishments that I want to call out specifically. One is called Whiskey Cake. If you've never been there, I sent Uncle Todd the shots of the display of bourbons and whiskeys they have. Ladies and gentlemen, not only is it multi-level, they actually have a ladder that slides like a library sort of situation because they need to climb up. The order that I put in for my bourbon, they had a guy go up that ladder to get that bourbon for me. So
and it was so high he had to tie off due to OSHA regulations.
Yes, he did. There were carabiners involved.
I've got 3 dreams for eventually
on belay,
in my dream house. One is I've always wanted a pool table. Always wanted to have a pool table in a house. 2, I want to have a library room that has one of those ladders to slide around. And now I have a third one. I want to have a bourbon room that has the exact same ladder. Maybe it can be. I can have one room. It's just half and half.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
And that way the ladder can just go all the way around.
So I had a Wild Turkey 101 to start off when I was there. And
Always a good choice.
And then I transitioned over to, they had a, I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was a smoked old fashioned. So it was an old fashioned where they put this cover on top, put some wood chips on top. Guy had like a blowtorch where he was like, and then all of the smoke appears in the glass. The cap keeps all the smoke in. Does that for, I don't know, 30 to 45 seconds. Lets it sit, takes the cap off, puts in the orange peel, and there was something else he put in. I forget what it was. And then of course they had the cube in there. And it's amazing how the liquid just soaks in that smoke, and you taste the smokiness. So phenomenal old fashioned. Got myself some fried chicken and waffles, which was amazing. And then just to top it all off, the cherry on top of all this, they have a dessert called whiskey cake, which is exactly what it sounds. It is a bourbon-based dessert. And so I had that, and it was phenomenal. So good eats there. That was my Monday evening dinner. Wednesday evening, because I had a happy hour that I went to on Tuesday evening. Wednesday evening, I went by myself to, it's called Hard Eights.
I love how this just turns into like Tim eats his way across the United States.
Indeed.
Every time you have a trip.
Indeed.
Nothing about the family, nothing about work, nothing about anything else. Is like,
I
ate this.
It was a productive work visit. I was just getting to the highlights.
I know, but that gets
food.
like 5 seconds, and then you're just like, and then this cake.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
But I mean,
phenomenal.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying it's funny because it would be me if that.
All right.
That's just how I roll
Fair
too.
enough.
So
Fair
I
enough.
find it amusing.
So I went to Hard Eight barbecue and ordered myself a half pound of ribs, half pound of brisket, half pound of sausage. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 1.5 pounds of meats. And
he ain't pooped since.
Had myself a little apple cobbler for dessert afterward. Got myself a little piece of corn on the side. It was phenomenal. It was so good. One thing I will do is maybe next time not go.
Does your trainer listen to this show at all? Does he just be like, I'm just shoveling shit against the tide? That's all I'm doing. See, your trainer's going to fire you because he's like, there's no point. You're undoing every single bit of good that I've done in your life.
Hey, the protein is on the diet I'm on, which
It's on the diet, but he's like, you're not even treading water. I've always wondered why every time you come in here, the entire gym smells like steak. It's because it's just sweating out of your pores.
oh my gosh, I almost spit out my drink.
Going to do a squat. Is that sirloin?
Wow, that's funny. That is funny,
Anyways.
my friend. So enjoyed a feast of bad decisions at Hard Eight Barbecue. Outside of that, work trip was great. Got to connect with some coworkers down in Dallas who I hadn't seen in a while and stuff. So it was
Deep in the heart of Texas, perhaps?
Deep in the heart of Texas. Came home on Friday, flew home Friday morning, jetted over to the Honda garage to drop our truck off to get service because we were leaving the next day to drive out to New Hampshire. So made sense to get the truck situated before doing said trip. Pick up the truck, basically drive down to downtown Chicago for a dinner with my wife. And then we went to a performance by Chris Thiele, who is a famed
mandolin dude.
Mandolin player. Yep. He's a
Nickel Creek.
folk bluegrass player. I thought he was performing with the symphony orchestra because we were at the orchestra performance venue, and turns out it was just him. He was playing. Basically, he had released an album of his interpretation of some Bach pieces on mandolin, which sounds a little odd, but when you listen to him play, it is quite just amazing to hear him play. It's my and another thing. I need to switch that up, but we took in that concert, had a wonderful time. He did play some stuff from Nickel Creek, from the Punch Brothers, and his solo stuff as well. But as he called it, it was Bachtober, so he was doing some Bach. But just a fun concert. jetted home, packed up, got the truck all situated, packed up, left at about 6:00 Saturday morning, zipped off, and we were on our way to New England, and where we enjoyed a week with my family. Basically had seafood every day but Friday. So starting last Saturday,
I love the fact that you had seafood in like Victor, New York, where I was like,
yes,
I don't know that I want sushi that far inland.
but you do, especially at this place we were at. It was phenomenal.
Okay.
Phenomenal. I did not get sick. Enjoyed it. It was
What a
wonderful.
high bar you have. I wasn't vomiting, so it must have been good.
What other bar is there? You know what I mean? You go, you eat, you feel good about life.
I have a higher bar than, you know what, at least, well, actually, no, I have celiac, so that kind of is my bar. Never mind, I retract my statement. Proceed, sir.
Proceed. I ended up ordering, I was a little hungry. And I ordered.
The man ate an entire porpoise worth of sushi, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it. Ate everything but the fin. And you say, I was a little hungry.
It was 24 pieces of sushi.
Ate an entire 2,000-pound tuna all by himself. And then finished it off with a Diet Coke.
It was like their version of the old 96ers.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't just a plank. It was like a 4x8 sheet of plywood. Thunk.
Oh, my God.
And this guy, and this chucklehead over here just going, let me at it. His wife just going, oh, dear God.
Oh, my God, that was funny.
Actually, your wife is like this. Yeah, I'd like to talk about her insurance policy. That's paid up, right? Okay.
Okay, good.
Just checking.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I had sushi on Saturday. Sunday, made it to Woodstock, Vermont, and enjoyed a lovely dinner at the Woodstock Inn, which was basically a stuffed lobster. So enjoyed that. It was a cornbread and chorizo stuffing, by the way, which was quite lovely. Quite
chorizo,
lovely.
some good stuff.
It is some very good stuff. Monday we spent in Woodstock, and then we went to the Whistle Pig tasting room in Queshy. That was quite nice. I got there this bourbon. This is a rye that was aged in gin barrels. So it's called Whistle Pig Piggyback Single Barrel, and is only sold in Vermont. And then I also got Whistle Pig Single Barrel Rye 10-year. So
very nice.
So did that, and then just had a nice visit with the family. We continued the string of seafood loveliness the entire time. So went to Bob's Clam Hut on Tuesday.
At some point, did you just realize you were on a streak and then you were actively seeking out seafood, or did it just line up this way?
It just lined up this way. Went to Legal Seafoods on Thursday. Went to a restaurant in Wolfboro called Morrissey's.
Get to that last day, like you're at a dine, you're like, I got to get a tuna fish sandwich. I got to have something.
No, Friday I let it go. I said, you know what? It is done. I have had my fill, and so I'm just going to enjoy, some pizza and just relax. So.
Oh, well, thank God, a healthy choice. That's good.
Indeed. So I had a lovely visit. Oh, we went to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. Got to drive afterwards around Fenway Park, which something was going on there. I thought it might be a tour, but I don't know if they had a show going on there or something, but I saw people kind of walking,
I can call Kaylin. She probably knows.
She might. So, just all around, and then, good trip. And then we left, we left yesterday, stopped, we break the car ride up into 2 days because it is not human to do it in one day. I've done it twice, and I would never recommend it for anyone to do.
I was there for one of them.
You were.
Oh my gosh.
And we didn't feel human afterwards. So
if I hadn't been there the entire time, I would have been like, there was some sort of hallucinogenics involved, because we were literally talking out the side of our ears.
Yes.
Like one time we got there.
It was bad.
Like your wife's parents must have been like, she's marrying a stoner.
Basically. So So yes, good trip all around. Oh, and I almost forgot. Wednesday when we went to Morrissey's, I was telling Uncle Todd about this in the pre-production meeting, but had probably one of the best bowls of clam chowder I've ever had in my life. Clam chowder, meaty clams, scallops that were what?
I just can't do clams, dude. So you saying meaty clams? I'm like,
It was good. It was good.
And I'm happy for you. It's
Scallops.
just I've got a thing about clams, man. Just
bacon.
Nice,
thick soup going on there. It was phenomenal. It was so good. So good.
The scallops I can get on board with. I don't know what it is. I am not a huge seafood person aside from scallops.
Okay.
And like lobster, I have literally had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich rather than having lobster.
Really?
Partly because I am so effing lazy, dude, that after a little while I'm like, that is just so much work having to crack open this thing and then you wind up with this little Dixie cup worth of meat after like a half hour of getting like a shell in your eye and juice all over you. And I'm like,
and you smell like crap after you have all the juice on you too.
Yeah.
But soaking that meat in butter and then eating it is just amazing.
That's the thing. I always try and tell people, like, you don't really like lobster. You just want butter. Just put butter on something else.
It's a butter sponge is what it is.
It is. It's just a vessel. It's a tool for you to shovel butter and not feel bad about it.
It's the texture of the meat that's wonderful, though. When you eat a lobster tail, the satisfaction of having that is I can't put it into words. It's so good.
Not
so
really.
good.
Although you know what has about the same texture?
What's that?
Gator.
Okay.
Because I've had alligator stew, and I was like, this has the same texture as a lobster tail.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's similar musculature. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe I was eating part of the gator tail. I have no idea what part of the
I'm just amazed you had
eating.
gator. I didn't even realize that. Known you this long, never knew you had gator.
You remember back in good old Dover, New Hampshire, the Crescent City Bistro? It was downtown, and I think it's like Moose something Tap House or whatever. But it was a bistro that had a chef from New Orleans, and it was great. And I went there with my parents once, and after that, I was like, every time I go there, because they had all kinds of odd stuff that I never would try.
Yeah,
I just made a deal with myself. Every time I go there, because I couldn't go there very often because it was really expensive. I was like, every time I go there, I'm going to have something I have never ever had before.
Yeah,
and I just made that deal with myself because I'm like, everything here is utterly great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try something odd every time. I had rabbit there. I had gator stew there. I had a couple other things too where it was just like, well, I'll try it because this is probably the best I'll ever have it, you know, if they're going to prepare it. So
the thing that blew my mind, though, was one day we went into Dover and my mom was driving and she was like showing us, some things that have changed in the town. And over by Biddy Mulligan's.
Yes.
Where Biddy Mulligan's used to be.
Yep. Fury's Public House now.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, if you were to, like so you would drive toward Biddy Mulligan's and then normally would turn left and go kind of up the hill. Because that's the way the circle went. But there is a road that goes straight. So if you were to go, but it was never open, or I don't know what the deal was. It was always seemed to be closed or blocked off.
At one point, there was a bridge there, but it wasn't one you could drive over. And then they fixed it, but then there really wasn't anything on the other side.
Dude,
now there is. I'm guessing.
They are creating, or they're building right now, basically, housing, like condos. And holy crap, like you need to, like, if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It basically, the building curves along the curve of the Cachiko River.
Yeah, they've been trying to develop that side of the river.
Well, they're developing it, and it looks friggin' impressive. I was like, wow, this is nice. This is, or it's going to look nice. It's not done. It's not fully finished, but just seeing the shape of the building and the way it curves with the land as it follows the river is just a very impressive. And so so all around a good trip. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else funny or goofy that happened along the way other than my eating habits. But overall, good trip.
Well, very nice.
Although we didn't cross paths, but that was just an
Well, I know you
unfortunate
actively avoided coming up to Maine from New Hampshire, and I don't blame you.
I know
don't-
the universe is going to collapse upon itself if we were to, physically gather again. But
Well,
who knows? Potentially in Chicago in February, my friend.
Could be.
Are we looking to, kind of try to do a little elimination chamber action here, or what?
Well, the issue is apparently that weekend is not finalized yet. They have
Yeah,
not
I noticed that in
finalized-
that article I sent you. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, which I would think they'd have to do that fairly soon because there are other sports schedules involved. So I'm imagining you can't just hold on to like, oh yeah, just give us this weekend or that weekend. Eventually, you're going to have to be like, it's got to be there. Then that, and they're going to start putting tickets on. They're like right now, I think the latest dates that WWE has on sale runs through like the beginning of January. So
Okay.
eventually, they're going to have to start setting out more tickets for sale. So they'll have to finalize it here pretty quick. But perhaps.
Perhaps we will have a meeting of the idiots.
Yes.
Very
Well.
nice. All right. Well, that's enough Tales from the Road. Let's get to. I like how you spelled Saturday Night's Maine, M-A-I-N-E.
Oh yeah. Hey,
well
I did
done,
that.
sir.
Here, let me edit that right now.
Oh, I thought that was on purpose because you are from Maine. So.
No, that was just me misspelling.
All right.
So here we are, Saturday night's main event. Do we even call this this isn't a B level PLE. This is a C level PLE because it's not really even a PLE.
Wasn't even on NBC apparently. It was just on Peacock.
Really? Well, and I guess it was on YouTube.
Okay. So I didn't notice. I felt bad. I talked this up with my dad, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you should watch an NBC. And then as we were driving yesterday and we stopped somewhere, I was looking on my phone, and Cage Side Seats had, just kind of a preview. And they're like, hey, just as a reminder, this is only going to be streaming on Peacock. It's not going to be on NBC. So,
Which I was very thankful for because the commercial
commercials.
breaks, the times when they did break for commercial, because that was always my biggest complaint with this show.
yeah.
Was there were so many commercial breaks and they were so long that like there would be matches and there's like 2 commercial breaks during the match. I'm like, this is so pointless to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. So happy for that. So this was coming to us from Salt Lake City,
Yes.
that party capital of the world. Not a lot of notes on this one because they did kind of, it seems like they replaced the barricades once again to go back to the old school bike rack,
Yep.
from SmackDown the night before, which is a nice touch. But it seems like they were kind of toning this down a little bit. They're trying to get away from some of the branding they did early on, which I get because you can only do that retro thing for so long.
Yep.
Before you're like, okay, we can't just do this completely out of there. So it did feel like with the new intro and everything else, they were kind of shifting the branding a little bit. I will say the one thing I took out of the kind of the lead up to the intro, Penta sipping coffee in front of a fire is the fall visual I didn't know that I needed, but God bless him for it. Because everyone else is doing the normal walk-in, and then you just get Penta sitting there in front of like a roaring fire with like a to-go cup.
I just love how he's like sipping the coffee, and then he looks at the camera and he's like, it's like
when he's and it's always so weird seeing Penta not dressed in the Penta garb. Like, of course he's got the mask on, but no face paint under it, and then just like kind of like a casual dress shirt and slacks.
Yeah.
Like, such a weird look. I was like, this is so odd, and yet I kind of want this to be my Christmas card. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
But that was glorious.
That
did
was.
notice right off the bat, refs are back to normal referee garb. We no longer have the shirt and the bow tie. However, they did keep they had the pull down mic. That looked like it had changed a little bit because they did have the old school. I forget what the exact like model number or whatever it is, but it's that kind of old PA mic announcer with like the chrome around it and everything.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool little nod, and Lillian definitely had gone much more kind of in a formal direction. She had kind of the long gown on, which
Her
whatever.
pronunciation of championship threw me a little bit.
I mean, it's Lillian. She's trying to do things a little bit differently.
This is for the undisputed WWE championship. It was just very weird the way she. I don't know.
Maybe she had some dental work done.
Could be.
She had a new plate in or something.
Hello.
I don't know. I don't think she looked like that. Dear God.
Let me tell you something. Fire Marshal Bill, ladies and gentlemen. Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh my
good
gosh.
Stuff. Good stuff.
We did have the logo
Jesse.
mat.
No Jesse.
Oh,
God love him.
You know what? And just for that, I got to have a beverage.
There you go.
You know what? As charming as it was to have Jesse for the first couple, especially for the first one, because it really did help to kind of link up the lineage, if you will.
I kind of wanted to hear his call though of Cody.
No,
when he DDT'd Drew McIntyre on the belt, which we'll get to in a moment, to get his whole like gorilla. The referee should disqualify him. That sort of like his indignation when the good guy does something underhanded, even though Drew was doing stuff throughout the match that was underhanded.
I mean, that is the one part of this where I will say that I would miss his shtick.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it was like, okay, it was time.
Yeah.
It was time.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the Matt logo was nice. We did not go completely old school with everything else.
Yep.
So yeah, overall, I felt like it was a better presentation. That and the less commercials was like made this event for me. Right out the chute, man, we got the WWE Undisputed Championship right on the line here. Cody Rhodes defending against Drew McIntyre.
With a stipulation from last night's or 2 nights ago SmackDown where if Cody gets disqualified or counted out, he will lose the belt. So the champion's advantage has been removed.
Which I actually, at first, I was like, this is kind of lame.
Yeah.
I did feel it actually added to the match.
Mm-hmm.
It added a little extra drama.
It did.
And it kind of made some of the extracurriculars that go on outside the ring make a little more sense logic-wise, because it's like so many times I'm like, some of this should be a disqualification. Like if we're really going by any stretch of kayfabe rules, just like pile driving somebody on top of the announcer's table, like, okay, that's a DQ. Like even though it happened outside the ring, you're not supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But anything goes, and the ref's count would have been up to 20 in some cases, but whatever. So I felt like that was kind of an interesting way to go with this, and a way to explain the referee allowing more stuff to happen, because it's like, well, we don't, the ref doesn't want to be the one to make the decision and all that. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, this match, I did not take I kind of had to force myself to take notes, because once it got going, I kind of got into this one. I did appreciate the fact that Drew started this out by pausing Lillian and making her announce him as the real American Dream. I thought that was nice. I think Drew, in terms of the way he's been playing his character, playing head games, and that kind of being his thing, is so good. He does that so well. He plays it off so well, and just seems to enjoy it so much. Love that little wrinkle. Love it. What are your thoughts on this match? I mean, I don't know that I have anything that really stands out here. Except I will say the spine buster that Drew dug out, somewhere Arn Anderson was like, that was a thing of beauty, because so many people, and give a little credit to Cody too for taking it very cleanly. So many people do that move though, and you're like, it kind of looked like crap. He did that. It wasn't as crisp as Arn. But it was about as close as I've seen in a while. That was nice.
Yeah. No, I thought the match was well done, well paced. I liked the way they were playing into the the stipulation. I loved when I'm forgetting the sequence that happened, but early in the match, Cody does something and McIntyre like looks at the ref and like he's already jaw jacking with him to disqualify him. When
like Drew pushed him into the ref or something like that.
Well, there was that, but it wasn't that. It was something else.
Okay.
Like maybe he didn't like let up. Like I think
it was like
Cody let up maybe before the 5 count, but Drew was taking issue with the count and saying, you got to 5, it should have been disqualified or so. Like, this is, and we'll get to this with the triple threat match. This is the part that I get Drew's a heel, and I get part of his job is to make me hate him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about, like, seeing him, and again, this may have been the charm of the match, but the fact that he is willingly trying to win this match
Mm-hmm.
without having to pin Cody,
Mm-hmm.
which to me undermines the entire point of him being champion at that point, because it's like you're not really beating the guy. You know what I mean? You're just getting the belt. I don't know. It just
But it's
takes
such a
something
heel
away from his
move.
character.
No. It adds to it, because this is a guy who, and then he's going to justify it.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I've shown you who he was, that he's always been this guy. Like, I appreciate that. Like, he is that heel who can rationalize anything.
Yeah.
And there's something about that gives you so many options story-wise.
Yeah.
And you have to be a certain kind of guy, a certain kind of person to pull that off.
Yep.
And Drew he's doing great work over the last couple of years, and
He is.
I really hope it gets rewarded. I was actually starting to root for it to be rewarded in this match. I got to be honest.
I was honestly thinking they may have pulled the trigger on something because of the stipulation. Are they going to, cheesily take the belt off of Cody, and then Cody chases for a little bit and gets it back and that sort of thing. So no, I thought it added the appropriate amount of drama to the match. It made the match feel different, even though, even though it felt somewhat similar to their first match, although the other thing I like that Cody was doing was Cody was purposely keeping himself in the ring. Like, he was trying to not go outside of the ring. He wasn't falling for Drew when Drew went outside and kind of beckoned him to come out. He's like, no, I'm not playing your game. I'm not going out there.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the action was good. There were a couple of great spots eventually on the outside, like, Cody going through the table. I thought was well done, and the way that Cole and I'm sorry, who
Wade
was
Barrett.
Wade Barrett, thank you.
I had a tough time remembering his name last night too, because as Cole started, I was like, in a way, I was like, please don't let me hear Jesse's voice, please don't.
Yeah.
And then I heard Barrett's voice. I'm like, oh, nice. It's why the hell can't I think of his name?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
No, but they were playing up the right
Sorry,
amount of
Wade.
drama, announcer wise, with the stakes with, if Cody doesn't get in the ring, he loses the belt. So overall, I thought it was great. And then, I think the way that the match played out, where, Drew brings the belt in and has every intention of using it, but then it's the thing that, with the referee being knocked out and, Cody laying the DDT down on top of it, was just a great storytelling device to now show how Drew falls by his own hand, basically. Both in terms of causing the referee to be knocked out, and then also bringing the implement in that ends up being the thing that causes him to lose. And so I thought it was a good match. I mean, the thing I struggle with a little bit is and you hit the nail on the head when you call this like a C-level PLE. It's like Rhodes and McIntyre should be a match that's more than a Saturday night's main event match. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if the fact it was playing out on this show took some shine off of it. It just kind of felt like, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I like when did they first fight? Was it WrestlePalooza? I think was when Drew and Cody first faced off.
That sounds about right.
So, I don't know. I don't know what more they can do other than it's just becoming normal to see big matches like this on shows like that, and it kind of takes a little bit of the specialness away from them a little bit, if that makes sense. My retort to that is, I feel like this overall, this show was kind of a response to the criticism of Saturday Night's Main Event, where people are like, yeah, nothing's going to happen. Right.
No championships are going to change because it's Saturday Night's Main Event and it's not a big PLE or whatever. And this is almost like, Paul of that going, okay, you know what? It's all championship matches.
Yep.
Screw you guys. And in this match, I think was a good one to have at the beginning because in a way, like it did make you feel like, okay, anything could kind of happen here.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I guess, maybe I was being overly optimistic because it ultimately, of course, Drew doesn't win here, but I'm wondering if this isn't transitory, in terms of a larger feud where because I think it would make sense for either Drew to get the belt or for us to finally see the Cody heel turn, because we've been teased with this approximately a billion times now, and now there's, in terms of building evidence, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And the trouble is that when you're doing that with Cody Rhodes, it doesn't play the same as like Steve Austin. He's not Stone Cold. Like, he's not this tweener badass who doesn't care about rules. Like, that's not his character. His character cares very much about rules and about being like the face of the franchise and QB1 and all that stuff. Like, so are we actually going to do this thing or not? And it feels like eventually that it's going to be too late when they finally do. That's my complaint there. I'm hoping that this is not the final nail in the coffin for these two, and that we do get a bigger match with some higher stakes later on, and that Drew. I'm hoping Drew actually does get the championship. I think it would be a great thing for him to get the championship, and Cody to have to chase. And maybe that becomes the heel turn, is that Cody has to like go to this dark place to win over Drew. I don't know, but whatever it is, I agree and I disagree. Like, I think that it kind of makes sense for them to have this match here, especially if you decide this isn't going to be the time to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It was a good match. I mean, I gave it 3 3/4 stars. Because I felt it was enjoyable. I feel like they did a great job with psychology. Like you were saying, of Cody trying to stay in the ring and not allowing himself to get pulled out and all of that stuff. I even feel like the botch that they had where the ref got himself out of position and Cody couldn't go up for that super cutter, so they had to fake like tweaking his knee.
That sequence was kind of weird though,
because he was going to run up the ropes and the corner, and the ref was right there, so he had to make a split-second decision of whether he's going to go or not. And I totally get why he didn't, because he knew.
Okay, so you think the ref being in the way was an accident? I
totally think the ref caught himself out of position.
See, I thought it was on purpose, because they kept teasing the fact that Cody could run into the ref and cause the DQ.
Well, yeah, but I think
so. That's where I wasn't sure what they were trying to do, and then it's like, oh, he tweaked his knee, and then he's fine.
Yeah.
It was weird. So
because they tried the exact same spot, and the ref was in a better position. And I'm like, which, I mean, hey, stuff happens, man. I mean, it's live television. The ref got himself in the wrong spot. Whatever.
Yeah,
it was a good way to cover. I mean, it looked janky, because if you you see that sequence, you're like, that definitely was okay, back up and try it again, sort of thing. I mean, that aside, the story in the match and these two guys working together, they told the right story. They behaved in a way that made you into there. That whole Flash Claymore was an interesting twist.
I was going to say that was funny when he threw the belt at Cody, and then Cody throws the belt to the ref, and then all of a sudden he just goes ba-bam.
Yeah, I was like, that's different. Again, like to add a wrinkle like that. Like that was okay. Now this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
No, overall, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a pretty damn good opening match.
Mm-hmm.
Got me invested. It's
Yep.
It won't be my match of the year, but it's pretty damn good. What do you think, sir?
I can understand 3 3/4, but I actually went more like I went 3 1/4 for this reason. There was some of the clunkiness like you just talked about, which like I couldn't immediately tell if this was accidental or if this was part of the story, because of the fact that it had been teased a couple other times about Drew throwing Cody into the ref. Like, if that hadn't happened, then I could probably buy into the fact that this was an accident, or at least identify it as such. But because I couldn't, it felt like this really weird sequence that happened.
Yeah.
Where he goes up, his knee's tweaked, And then, oh my God, he's able to run up the ropes now and do this. And I'm just like, it just didn't make sense. It was just weird.
The thing that tipped me off where I think he was out of position is because the ref immediately, his move was immediately to get out of the way. Like he didn't stand there ready to take the bump. Like he moved almost in a way of like, oh crap. Like just the body language. And I could be totally wrong. I'm just, I'm not an expert at body language, but my immediate thought was, oh, he's screwed up. Like it had that look to it. Can't tell you why, but
the other reason I gave it 3 1/4, and this kind of goes to, I don't think I articulated it very well with, saying that being on this event took the shine off the match. But while the stipulation was interesting and created space for there to be, maybe he loses the belt in this cheesy way.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't think Cody was going to lose, though. And I think this is becoming the problem with him. I don't want to say the problem with him as champion, but having him on a show like this, because what are you doing to convince me that there's really a threat that he's going to lose? Like you and I, and I don't know that all fans are like this. Like most people who watch wrestling have some semblance of idea of how wrestling works. And, they're not these like, novice fans who don't see the writing on the wall with some of this stuff. Like your belts are going to change hands typically in big events when there's, a big story kind of riding on the match.
Mm-hmm.
Drew and Cody were telling a story, but this felt like a transitory chapter in that arc. It didn't feel like this match was going to be the one. I think the stipulation did provide some interesting juice to say, well, maybe it could happen. Because you could see a case where there's a mistake. It's almost kind of like, not that they would do it this way, but it's almost like Big Show defending the Intercontinental title in a tables match and then stepping through the table by accident and being like,
which iconic moment,
but not that they would do that with the world title, but it's that sort of thing where it's like, oh crap, I made a mistake, and it's just kind of like, what did they just do to Cody? However, it also bothers me that Drew's been put in this position. Like Drew has now lost 2 straight title matches, and his character is now going to start suffering a little bit with this whole act of, hey, I'm really a champion, I'm getting screwed. Yes, he kind of got screwed, but there's an argument to be made that, well, you suffered the consequences of your own making, like don't bring the belt in and just keep beating the crap out of him. And then at some point he'll fall, that's pretty much what Punk did to Jey Uso. Right. So I don't know. So for me, that's where I went 3 1/4, which was, I thought there was some good action. I thought they were telling a good story. There's a little bit of clunkiness, but I don't know that the ending was ever really in question, that Cody would be retaining, because it didn't feel like the right time for the title to change hands. So,
all right, fair enough.
So it took a little drama out of it for me. And so therefore I kind of went 3 1/4 on this one.
All right. I can see your point.
All right. So next match, though, this one, I don't know how you felt about this, but I loved that they had an exchange between Nick Aldis and Tiffany Stratton before she goes out for the WWE Women's World Championship match between Jade Cargill, who was challenging Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany has been champion for, I think, over 300, what did they say, 302 days or something like that?
Something like that. Damn close to a year.
She's had a great run. She has exceeded my expectations. I didn't think she'd be champion for as long as she was, but she's put on some very good matches. She's done very well for herself.
For someone who I would say, and again, this is a nitpick, because I hesitate to say the total package, but she has a lot going for her. If we're talking like baseball, if she might not be a 5-tool player, but she's a 3-4 tool player. Like she has a lot going for her. The athleticism, certainly. Body control and able to make stuff look believable, certainly. Mic skills, I personally feel like she needs some work, but then again, I'm probably not the target audience for Tiffy time. So I feel like she could use a little range in her performance on the mic. Whatever. People still love her. She has charisma. I feel like she just needs some more time to become better at flowing the match instead of kind of oh, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. But again, nits to pick. But yeah, she's been a phenomenal talent over the last year, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what I really enjoyed from that initial back and forth with Nick Aldis was it gave a very Rocky III sort of vibe to it, where he's just kind of like, you don't need to do this. You're not feeling well. Like you don't let's put this off. And she was adamant about defending the title, and off she went. And you kind of already got a sense of where this was going to go, because she's not 100%. Her leg is busted up, and she's going to be fighting from behind from the very beginning. And then in the match itself, they did a really good job, I thought, of playing up the drama behind this, which is, she can't go and do her moonsault because she, her right leg is messed up. She's scrapping together some offense, but it's just not enough to overcome someone like Cargill, and so this, the story moving forward is going to be, Cargill is going to go off and, flaunt the fact that she's champion, whatever, and fight some folks. But ultimately Tiffany's going to come back and want a rematch when she's 100% to say, look, like, you didn't beat me when I was 100%. I don't think you can beat me when I'm 100%. Now you got to defend the title against me. There's also the looming shadow of Bianca Belair as well, who's coming back from injury at some point.
Yes.
So that's also, going to make for a very, I think that's the WrestleMania match. I think is going to be Cargill versus Belair for the championship.
And I'm all for that, because I think Cargill could have a hell of a match. She just needs someone who's a little bit more experienced to kind of lead her through that.
Yep.
Although I mean, I'm not to say like she's like greener than grass. I mean, she's been around for a while, but I feel like someone like Belair, who's been around the block a few times, I think those two could have a hell of a match for sure.
And I think Cargill as a heel makes a ton of sense. I mean, that's how she was utilized in AEW, and how she built really, a lot of value there is through that character. And much like they did in AEW, they paired her up with a manager who was really the voice, for her. This is a situation where I really wish they could do something with Heyman and her, because I think Heyman could do a lot. As her mouthpiece.
Dude, can you imagine her as part of the Vision? Because that would perfectly fit.
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Like, make her part of the Vision with Braun, and, just, build that fat. Now, I know it's going to feel different because it felt one way with Rollins and the two Brauns, but I think with both Brauns and her, and with that group being a group that is looking to, and this is what I wish they would do with some of these groups, is be very particular about, like with the Judgment Day, like they went and acquired belts at one point. Like they had the tag belt, men's tag belts, they had the women tag belts, whatever. But it was never the stated purpose of the group. And this is the one thing that I absolutely loved about the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen were very clearly about excellence. They wanted to be the best, and the symbol of being the best is holding the gold.
Yes.
And they went for the gold. Like, you don't hear groups, and of course not every group can do that, because then it becomes commonplace and not interesting, but it would just be great for like the Vision and what they're trying to do with, creating this new era for WWE, or being, the future or whatever, is to make it part of their purpose of, we are going to go dominate. We are going to capture gold. And you now have Jade Cargill as one of those pieces of that puzzle, being the women's champion. Now, the obvious next step is going to be Braun is clearly being groomed, for being a WrestleMania main eventer. He's clearly being groomed to be a future world champion. The question is, do you pull the trigger now, or do you wait? And I think, he still needs more time. I don't think he's ready for it yet. So
maybe we'll talk about that on Friday.
I think if you do anything, you do it at this upcoming WrestleMania, but you don't rush it before then. So it'll be interesting, but I could see the Brauns doing, kind of a stint with the tag belts, as a starting point.
How about we get back to the match
So
I get where you're going, and I
Anyways.
think this would be good for Friday's show. But
you're absolutely right. So so overall, I thought the match was well laid out. It was intended to be an absolute beatdown by Cargill on Stratton because of her physical situation. They did that very well. They gave Stratton a couple hope spots, but ultimately it was Cargill over, just running over her, and that's exactly what it needed to be, and that's where she, I think she shows her value and her worth is having those short dominant matches. And now I think they need to build on that. So I love the fact that they crowned her champ. Now, having said all of that, I don't feel like the match was in the realm of a 4 to 5 star match. I feel like it was probably more like 3.25 stars, maybe 3 stars, because
I
it
gave
was
it 3,
above average, but it wasn't, it wasn't a high quality match because it was serving a specific purpose. So
yeah,
I went 3.25 on this as well.
all right. I went 3 stars on it because again, it's nothing special. It's above average, and it's one of those deals where like you make the best out of what you have. Obviously, Tiffy's hurt, so she's not going to be doing a ton in this match, which she didn't need to. Like you said, they gave her a couple hope spots. This was meant to get over Jade Cargill, and I agree as well on the heel Jade thing. This is where her power, her look, everything. And even some of the things where you might say are some of the weak spots in her armor they don't show as much in the heel realm. Like she just has to go out and dominate. And mic work, even though I think she's not terrible on the mic, but I mean I don't think she's the best on the mic either. But I mean, hey, you don't need to be the best. If you're just going over to get hated, all you have to do is manage to string together a couple sentences and walk off, and then just beat the hell out of people, and that'll do the trick. Especially if you look like Jade Cargill, who legit looks like someone I would never in my life mess with.
Yep.
No way. She looks like she could take and tear me in half. I'm good. I'm all set. And I'm gonna say, as a red-blooded American male, she could whoop my ass any day of the week. And I have no problem with that. Yep. None whatsoever. No problem saying that. This is how you get over her as like just an unstoppable monster. This is how you get someone over. You have them in the match. And I will say that 2 things that stood out to me. I love the fact that, as Tiffy's hobbling along, she did the Bret Hart leg sweep, kicking the leg out from under. I was like, that's a little thing. And I don't care if she came up with it or if someone else came up with it. She played it perfectly in execution of sweeping the leg, but also her body language, her attitude around that. Again, stuff we can list this under stuff that Nia Jax doesn't do with much more experience. There's those elements of the selling of it that isn't the selling of taking the impact. There's a selling of, I just put that person on their ass. It's kind of funny. Yeah. That, and when Michael Cole was saying Jade Cargill looking confident, I'm like, no, she does. She absolutely looks confident. Like it's like, okay, she feels confident. She feels comfortable in this role as just the badass heel. Perfect. That's what we all want. We just want to see someone like Jade Cargill go out and kick ass. Doesn't necessarily have to be as a heel or a face. Whatever works best. In her case, like being a heel, if she's comfortable with that, go right ahead, because that is exactly what we want to see. Someone who looks like they're carved out of fracking stone. You want to see them do that.
Yep.
You don't want to see them go out and play in the Peacemaker. You're like, no, I'd really like to see them go bash heads in. And she did that and did it really well. So yeah, no, the match didn't need to be a 5-star match. It did its job. And as the second, match of the night, like could definitely have that slump. No, it did its job, and I think did it really well. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing what would happen. And man, God, that would be cool. They need some. I'm trying to think of who they could have as a manager for the ladies. And I'm having a hard time thinking of like who they could bring in, like a ladies alumni or anything like that. It's just like, they need somebody as a mouthpiece. Like again, Nia Jax, if someone could just steer her in the right direction and maybe coach her on a few things, and
Mm-hmm.
then just take the mic completely out of her hands, you might actually be able to get something going there. But if you watch SmackDown, old Spruce Tree was at it once again, and you're there. So, anyways, 3-star match, and we have a new women's world champion.
A new women's champion.
I was
Yes.
really not happy with how they did that on the friggin' LED screen at first. I've at least gotten past the point of vehement hatred. So,
I
There we
did
are.
like how they edited the promo package before the match, because I read somewhere that I think it was on SmackDown that Cargill kind of botched her promo with Tiffany, where she said something about something like taffy time is up or something like that.
yes.
And in the actual promo package, it just was like, it was basically like, your time is up.
Yeah, she did. I watched SmackDown and I remember that, and I'm like,
Oh man.
And it's one of those things like, hey, there for people who want to slag on people for not being terrific on the mic. It's like, go back in the day, and there's plenty of people who drew money who are not exactly dynamite on the mic.
Yep.
You get them a mouthpiece, or you just don't have them talk that much. Bret Hart, for all of his in-ring ability, was not always the greatest interview.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
he could be kind of one note.
Yep.
Just gonna say. So hey,
Agreed.
give it some time. Give it some time. Could I call a 30-second timeout here?
Sure, why not?
I'm just realizing I have overhydrated yet again.
Oh dear.
Back in a moment.
All right.
A few moments later.
You're welcome.
All right, so next up we have the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and someone needs to bring that back as a gimmick.
Yes, they
because
do. Yes,
I-
they do.
Watching old Savage promos when he would mention Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, like there's an Intercontinental Cruiserweight Championship.
Right.
Whatever. I love the full title. Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending against Penta and Rusev in a triple threat match. I'm going to start this off by just asking you one question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal with Rusev? Like, I get it, the big guy, but it's almost like this thing where I'm like, because he was like main eventing
Mm-hmm.
for a while, wasn't he? Like, was that just kind of a collective fever dream? Because I watch him, I'm like, okay, he's interesting and he's good and all that, but like, I just don't look at him and go like, oh yeah, that's a guy who should be main eventing a WrestleMania or something. Like, am I missing something here?
No, I agree that he's not exactly main event material. What I think they are doing with him now versus his previous stint is grafting into his character. So before he went to AEW, he had a bit of a run doing kind of a goofy gimmick called Rusev Day.
Yeah, I heard. I've heard about that. I don't know what it is.
He played up. I honestly, I forget exactly kind of how it came about, but it was, him just kind of. It was almost like when Kurt Angle went kind of goofy. He's someone who is physically imposing, who could be a killer, but decides to do some goofy shtick because he's in sports entertainment.
Okay.
And that's what Rusev was doing.
Because I actually liked him in this match. Before this match, I was like, I don't get it with this guy. Now I kind of get it, but I'm kind of like, I'm trying to figure out how this worked before.
He was doing a character in AEW where he called himself the Redeemer, and he was basically, what he was doing was directed by his God. And it was just very very obfuscated what was meant by that. It wasn't like it was directly like some sort of Christian reference, but it was just like he was serving a higher purpose for a higher being, and what that meant was, I'm going to break whoever my opponent is because this is what is demanded of me. What was funny is he started using the phrase before Becky Lynch did. Like he would be talking very seriously about his commitment to what he needs to do and this sort of thing, and then talk about how he would need to deny himself his hot wife or something like that. How Becky Lynch calls Seth her hot husband. Like Rusev was doing this in AEW long before Becky was doing it, so she probably picked up a beat from him on that to bring some comedy in. But when Rusev came back, they kind of brought that aspect of his character. Like, he's not the Redeemer anymore, but he clearly is like this guy on a mission where he's very serious. He doesn't do the Rusev Day stuff anymore. He doesn't, he comes out, he's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking to brutalize his opponent. What I absolutely loved in this match was when he walked over to the Intercontinental title and
Oh,
was
yeah.
having a conversation with it like, I'm coming for you. Mwah.
I saw that, and that was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of buying more into this guy. Like he's a little off his rocker.
Yes.
And I'm like,
It was
okay,
beautiful.
I get it. I'm
beautiful.
starting to get into the character, that and him scaring the kids in the corner, which I thought was great. That little kid, like legit just
I know,
terrified.
yeah. And I love Cole and Barrett on the call on that. It's like, well, those kids just got their Halloween. I mean, I thought that was hysterical. Like, or Halloween hasn't ended yet for those kids or something.
And God love him for that, because I wouldn't have been able to pull off a comment to that. I would have just been giggling. Like,
Yes,
oh my gosh,
yes.
did you just see that? That little
Yes.
kid just peed himself. Like
Yeah.
I hope he brought up, that would have been my comment. I hope that kid
Yeah.
brought an extra pair of jeans with him tonight.
Yeah.
Which is why they don't ask me to do commentary for these things.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for kind of helping with that, because I
Yeah.
this match kind
He's
of
supposed
really,
to be a wrecking machine is what he's supposed to be.
which I was kind of getting that, but when he came back and people cheered, I'm like, all right. And then he
Yeah.
had a couple matches. I'm like, I'm still not quite getting it. And this match, for whatever reason, I think it was just seeing him in the ring, and even though there's elements of his ring work that is a little janky, I was like, okay, I think I'm getting it. And then the outer, like him talking to the belt and some of the different things that he did, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get it, and I'm starting to like kind of dig the character. Like, okay, the pieces are falling into place. But there was also that moment of like, I seem to remember this guy had a tank at a WrestleMania at one point.
Right.
I'm like, how did this guy merit renting a tank? Because there's a
Yeah.
cost associated with that. Like, you have to look at the bottom line, and you have to look at it. It's like when you have your wedding, like there's people well. Do you know them $55 per plate well?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on both sides of that. And I always try and go, no, you know what? We're friends. We ain't like $70, $80 a plate friends.
I'm worth it. I'm worth 110, baby.
So, I mean, I know when they're plotting these things out, they're like, okay, is Rusev tank worthy?
Right.
Can we get away with a Jeep?
Yeah.
Perhaps a Hummer, not a Humvee, not the actual military grade version, just a Hummer that we can rent from someplace.
Mm-hmm.
And if you thought I was talking about something else, get your mind out the gutter. So yeah, that helps to kind of pull all those pictures together. So now back to the match. I will say that my first comment on this was Rusev, aka Bulgarian Shel Silverstein. That just clicked for me. I was like, dude, where the sidewalk ends. Like, we need to somehow incorporate this. Like, he needs to come out and start reciting some poems. Like, just work a line or two in. Gen X would be there for it, because that's like in our wheelhouse, dude. We'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. If he comes out singing A Boy Named Sue, forget it. Forget IC Championship. He's heading for the top of the card. Where was okay, the first note that I have any relevance to here, and feel free to backtrack from here, but the Dom Rusev chair moment, when he tosses the chair to Rusev to do the Eddie Guerrero, like, oh my gosh, he's going to break the rules. And the ref is like, dude, there's no DQ. There's no rules. And Rusev kind of just wears him out with the chair.
Yes. Yeah. No, I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that was great. And there was a lot of good action before that. There was a lot of like, I really felt like this match was pretty well structured. But that was the first thing that I really noted down, where I was like, oh my gosh, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful way for them to turn that, and to turn that moment on Dom. Thought that was great. The Penta Mexican Destroyer using Rusev as like the springboard at one that again, like,
that was great.
this was a match where I was like, I in a way I was like, if anyone's got to win this besides Dom, I'm like, I hope it's Rusev, because I kind of was like, I don't want Penta to be cornered into IC belt for too long. Like, I feel like this is a guy who could very easily springboard into main event and be very interesting because he's so fracking over and he's so good,
Yeah.
you know? And then we get into more Dom shenanigans. Is there anything you want to get into before this? Because as soon as we get into this is all we're going to talk about.
As soon as we get into what?
Okay, Dominic ringing the bell and stopping the match.
Sorry. Yes.
Stopping the match so that Rusev thinks, Shel Silverstein thinks he's won the match. Because at that point, I was like, what in the hell is going on?
It's as close as he's going to get to the giving tree. So you know what I mean?
Nice call. Very nice, sir.
Thank you. I am here all week. So yes, indeed. No, what I was the only thing additional additional points I'll make are just, first off, I still can't get over the great visual presentation they do with Penta. He's so animated and colorful, and I just look at this guy like
one of the best entrance themes.
You were presented one way in AEW, and it's amazing what a difference that presentation makes in framing you for an audience, because he was just a tag team wrestler with his brother in AEW, and here he is just a bona fide superstar, and he's such a great talent. So just love the presentation there. Such a dynamic, wrestler in the ring as well. Just brings, just great action. Just love the all around, this was definitely a triple threat where, one of the three gets, beaten badly or knocked out of the ring or something. They're out of the equation for a period of time to let it be a one-on-one match between the other two combatants, and then eventually that the third gets in there. And I really I thought the sequence of the match was well done. I thought it told a good story. It was good back and forth between all three. And really, like you mentioned, I thought the thing with the chair was hysterical, because basically at that point Dominic kind of sealed his fate, and it was good to see Rusev beat the tar out of him.
And a little bit of a smile.
Yes.
Like, oh, I can do this?
Yes. The one thing, and we can get into this when we get into the end of the match, but the one thing that WWE needs to be really careful about with Dominic, though, is, there comes a point where it becomes almost comedic in the way that you see him go up against a guy like Rusev, who for all intents and purposes should wipe the floor with him.
Yes.
And there is damage that can be done to Rusev's character, and there's damage that can be done to Dominic too, because of the fact that it really, while he's playing the wily heel, which is fine, that you run the risk of really kind of devaluing both guys over time, because Dominic looks like he shouldn't be holding on to any belts at all. And Rusev ends up suffering because he ends up looking like he should be the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, really, it's kind of like between him and Penta. Like, Penta also has a claim to that as well. Yeah. But there's so much other crap that happens, it just clouds all of it. And so my only concern is, like, over time, great, you keep the belt on Dominic and he builds up more heat because he's the guy everyone wants to see lose, but you're sacrificing these other talent. Like look, have him be focused on AAA and that sort of stuff if that's what you want to do with him, but get that belt over to Rusev or Penta so that they can be fighting over it, because otherwise they're kind of without. Like, I think moving forward, it's now going to be Rusev and Penta, because Penta, clocked him with the hammer or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, you're trying to create something that you don't necessarily need the belt for. But here's the thing: like, they're already, unless they're trying to head into which I think they are, heading into Eddie Guerrero territory, where even though he's the heel, people like him because of the comedic elements of him, the lie, cheat, and steal sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think eventually they're going to have to pull the trigger on, Dom being just admitting that he's a face. Like he already got cheered as a heel winning the IC belt at WrestleMania. Like they gave him a curtain call. You don't do that for a heel.
No, you don't.
And even in this match, when they announce him, he's still getting cheered.
Right.
And when he wins, he's still getting cheered. And I mean, granted, we are in the sing-along era of WWE where the crowd is basically being conducted by, the music. But still, there is that element. So I mean, I agree. They do have to get the belt off of him
But here's the difference,
to further this. But I think that's where they're heading with him.
This is the difference, though, between Dominic and Eddie, which is Eddie could do those things as an entertainment gimmick as part of his character, and it was funny, and people loved him for it.
Mm-hmm.
But people knew that Eddie Guerrero could beat the people he was facing. Dominic does not look like someone who can beat these people.
Well, I mean, are you talking like physically or like skill wise?
Both physically and skill wise. Like Eddie Guerrero was jacked. That could have been part of his problem, but he looked jacked.
I think it was
jacked and was a technician in the ring. Anyone who's, and I know Punk is effusive in his praise about this, but Punk had a series of matches with Eddie early in his career that were transformative for him because of how good Eddie was. And I'm not saying this to demean Dominic. It's just, if you sell the guy as someone who shouldn't be in that place, when he does actually turn face, is he going to act how are people going to buy into him actually being able to put people away? Because he comes off as someone who's pretending to be a wrestler and he's kind of trading on his dad's name and is not someone who's being sold as someone who actually belongs there. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a little bit of an overstatement because he's a character. He's a character. He's a good character. But his entire, this match was built around the fact that he is going to do something underhanded to win the match and keep the belts.
Yeah.
And when he goes and does this, that shows he's not in shape. He's not the guy who does this. He's putting the middle finger up to everyone and saying, I'm the best, when clearly I don't look and act like the best.
Yeah, I think
and that's to me the key difference between him and Eddie is when Eddie started doing lie, cheat, steal, everyone knew Eddie could actually go toe to toe with the people he went with.
True.
So
I think Dom is a bit of an exception right now, just because he was such that white hot heel. We talk about the fact that he was a heel who had a heel turn. When he turned on Rhea, he was already a heel and he managed to turn heel. He managed to in mathematical wrestling terms, he managed to square his heelness to a weird way. I mean, he's the only guy who could kind of pull that off now. I think it's a bit of an exception, which is why I'm not as sold as him at damaging anybody, because I think that people recognize he's this outlier at the moment where until something happens, the crowd loses interest or whatever. He's in this weird spot where he can do these things, and I don't think it hurts Rusev, and I don't think it hurts him either right now. I think you go too much further, and I do think that you start getting in that territory.
But he's kind of gumming up the men's mid-card because he's holding on to a belt that could be used to help elevate other people when he has another belt that he's probably he can use his status as the AAA mega champion to further his claim as the king of the luchadors and to further his claims as being, the best Mysterio. He doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship. Whereas where does Rusev go from here? And I'm not saying this as a Rusev fan or anything like that, but it's this is where, by not having a mid-card belt for he and Penta to fight over, you're kind of hamstringing both of their growth.
True.
Whereas they don't have, Penta out of the two of them is the only one who could theoretically coexist in AAA and fight other luchadors and contest the, for the mega championship. Rusev could too, but I'm just saying, based on history, Penta would be the one you would think.
Wouldn't that be the wild thing if Rusev just snaps and decides, not only am I going to take revenge on Dominic Mysterio, I'm going to take revenge on all luchadors, and he just shows up at AAA shows and just starts hurling these dudes around.
Wait a minute.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Hold on.
Just watching him like swing some guy by his ankles, just in the third row, and just this Bulgarian showing up.
The Spanish word for pain is dolor.
Yeah.
How cool would it be if Rusev shows up like this? This is if they wanted to
in
go
a
like
mask,
full comedic or entertaining sort of thing, right? Is have him show up in a luchador mask, calling himself El Dolor, and he just would beat the snot out of any
with a Bulgarian flag on the side.
Yes, and
he does. It's the same entrance, same music. It's just a different name. It's just instead of Rusev on it, it's just El Dolor.
That's right.
That would be awesome, dude. Somebody trips. Come on, that's money. That is money right there. We're only asking for 5%. That's all.
Or we could call him El Portador de Dolor.
No,
he is the bringer of pain.
That's way too much.
Oh, I think it'd be funny. Anyways, boy, we've gone off on a tangent on this one. Holy crap.
Dominic rings the bell himself.
Which, that was great, because I'm like, what the heck just happened where they're ringing the bell?
Yeah.
And there he is. I mean, the look on his face was hysterical. He's like...
And Lillian next to him just sort of like...
Just like, what the hell is going on here?
It's like someone farted in her direction.
I fart in your general direction.
Pretty much. Then we got Penta hits Rusev with a hammer. Dom throws Penta into the corner post. We get a frog splash. Dom retains. A fun match. I would actually say second best match of the night. I gave it 4 stars.
Yes.
Just because there was a lot of action. Like this was actually extremely entertaining.
Yes.
Yes. With 3 guys who you would normally not think of having a great match together, which again is one of those reasons where I'm like, I am now more than ever thinking like that would be a great angle for Rusev. Like, I'm going to take revenge on all luchadors. They all must pay.
He'll be like the anti-Chad Gable.
Yes. El Bulgariano.
El Dolor.
Yeah, I do feel that Dom is stalled here, and I do agree with that. I think they do have to get the belt off him at some point here, and let him go on his own way for a little while. Like, it's been good. He does not need to have a long 400, 500 day reign.
Yep.
Let him have a short reign and then do some other stuff and maybe come back to it. Whatever.
If I can throw one other thing in there on this too is, and again, I don't know if this is the intentional or behind the scenes like jokey joke that they're doing with Dominic, but the Intercontinental belt has always been known to be the worker's belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not call Dominic, nor does he portray himself as a worker, right? If anything, Dominic is portraying himself as almost the antithesis of that, right? With the way he's winning the matches.
True.
With the way he's posing when he does underhanded things to get an advantage. And so maybe this is a little thing that Trips and everyone in the backstage are doing to kind of get a rise out of fans or whatever, but I do really think they got to get the Intercontinental belt off of him just for the purpose of letting other individuals on the Raw roster in the mid card have something to fight over.
Yes,
because otherwise he is gumming up the works, if you will.
Yeah, because you either need a belt or you need some sort of an angle that doesn't require a belt, or people who don't require a belt, and there's not an abundance of those angles right now.
Right.
So I would agree. What'd you give this match?
I would give this a 4. I would agree with 4 stars. This was probably, next to the main event, the most entertaining match of the night. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. I was kind of curious how Rusev was going to work with both Dominic and Penta. I know they've wrestled before on Raw and that sort of thing, but in a triple threat sort of setting, I was kind of curious how that was going to play out, and I thought it played out well. I just and again, I know this is part of the heel character, and maybe I'm showing my markishness when I say this, but I've always had an issue with, and I know this is probably a way to build the heel up. Always though had an issue with this idea of, Dominic surviving to live another day as evidence of him being a great champion. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is not a great champion. He is the antithesis of what a champion should be.
Well, and that's what makes him a great heel.
I know, but it drives me nuts.
I know.
It just drives me nuts.
Let's move on then.
Indeed.
Any thoughts on the John Cena last opponent tourney, which
Also known as the Gunther Invitational?
Well, the funny thing about that is, and I would agree. I think this is definitely a way for them to get Gunther back in there and to work his way through. The thing that was interesting to me is the fact that Michael Cole went out of his way to say, and maybe even some people who don't work for this company, like, who from TNA? Because I'm just going to go with TNA for right now. I mean, Joe Hendry.
Sure. Yep.
Other than that, who in TNA really has that kind of, well,
you could have the Hardys.
I was going to say, did either one of the Hardys ever have a run with Cena? Would have been probably Jeff, right? But I mean, again, if it's not registering with you right off the bat, that kind of makes me think, no, it wasn't exactly a huge feud. So, but I mean, I think Hendry could be the possibility. I mean, maybe
both Hardys have fought John Cena.
Well, yeah. But
Jeff Hardy and John Cena have had multiple matches.
It does. The thing is, I think it's not going to be, but there still is that door open where people have talked about Edge, and the fact that they went so far out of the way to
teasing Edge, but it's
totally.
going to be Jericho. Jericho is definitely on. He has signed a WWE contract. He is going to be back.
He has?
Yes.
Thing is, I don't want to see Jericho.
He's essentially doing what Cena and Styles are doing. I think he's coming back for his swan song, basically, close his career.
But okay, okay, but just hear me out here, and I just need to piss and moan about this.
Oh, jeez.
Exactly. Just with a lot less racism. Or no racism, actually. Let's go for that.
Yeah, let's set that as the bar, please. Jeez, Louise.
Archie Bunker reference, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and look it up if you're too young to have remembered that. So we got AJ Styles doing his retirement tour next year. That means, because Chris Jericho ain't going to do his retirement tour while AJ Styles is. So that means that we'd have to deal with Jericho for an entire year before then his retirement. And at that point, he's what, 62? Frack me. No. Yeah, if anything, push AJ Styles out a year.
You get the Ocho.
The what?
Called himself the Ocho, 8-time champion.
Oh, I was going to say, what, because he's 80?
Well, he is an octogenarian, is he?
My God. I mean, maybe, but what kind of a match is that? That's the thing. And no offense to I'm not trying to pick on Jericho. Like, I've just seen some of his ring work. Of late,
he's at the tail end. He is at the tail end,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
absolutely nothing. If you enjoy it and someone will pay you to do it, fine. I'm just saying, like, if you had to break that wall, break the wall down. If you had to find somebody that you're like, Edge would be the obvious.
Yep.
Because I think Edge could still at least have a respectable match.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know how many pieces his femur is in these days.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you're 50 and you jump off a cage. But if I got to pick a Canadian, I'd rather have Edge. However, I do think this is more than likely it is the Gunther Invitational, and he'll be the one who gets there. I am a little interested in this, and I'm kind of glad that we're doing it this way because it's better this than trying to build another angle.
Yeah,
out of nothing with John Cena only showing up twice, and one of those times being like the actual match. So I'll go with that. So yeah, overall, it could have been worse. Fine, let's do this.
And hopefully they have that Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC, because I honestly think that's going to pop quite a rating for them to have it be Cena's last match. I think people are going to want to see that, past, present, and potentially future fans. So
for what they're charging for seats, they ought to. Ringside, like $5,000 to $10,000.
Good Lord.
Lower bowl, like $2,000. Nosebleeds are in the.
Are you making this up, or have you seen
No,
this?
I've when I was researching a possible, ticket for Elimination Chamber, I was trying to get a feel for like what does an indoor pay-per-view PLE go for,
Mm-hmm.
and the only one on sale right now, the only pay-per-view besides WrestleMania is San Diego Survivor Series. So I'm like, well, that doesn't help because that's a totally different.
Right. It's a different venue altogether. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, the only thing that we have close to that is the next Saturday night's main event, which I looked at. I'm like, oh, it's Cena's last match.
Mm.
Holy hell. It's insanity. Insanity.
So the floor seats are $5,000?
Ringside. Well, floor seats are between $5,000 and $10,000. So I'm guessing like you want to sit ringside, $10,000.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm guessing some of that is because part of the, a bunch of those are probably on resale right now.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Crazy
insane.
town, man.
All right, we got to
right.
wrap this up.
Yes, we do. So then we have the World Heavyweight Championship. We have the vacant title going
Wait
up.
a minute.
Oh my gosh, here we go. The fracking CM Punk versus Jey Uso to become the new champ. Man, I got to tell
Best
you.
in the world, baby.
I got to tell you, SmackDown, Punk, in a way, like it's good because it draws money. On another way, like it just totally exposed Uso.
What do you mean?
Uso comes out on SmackDown, does this whole like run it back thing, and they do, of course, the encore of his song. Punk comes out, and of course, people love Punk's entrance. He comes out before he even gets the mic. He's like,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And-
you meant on Raw. You didn't mean SmackDown. You meant Raw.
no, that was SmackDown.
That was on. I thought that was on Raw Monday night.
Was it on Raw?
Yeah, Punk and Jey
Oh,
Uso
it
were on
was.
Raw.
That's right, on
Yeah.
Raw. Sorry, I got confused. So yeah, and so they play, and he cut. I was like, oh my gosh, it is totally. And then he cuts his, like one word, 4 letters, Punk. I'm like, yeah, we've pretty much, and now we've gone through the entirety of Jey Uso's catchphrases and the reason why people pop for him.
Yeah.
However, this match, best Jey Uso match I've ever seen.
Do you know why?
Because one, you're working with a much more experienced opponent who has a lot more tricks in his bag and is a completely different worker than you, which is always going to be a very interesting contrast. But also, like, all of the grappling early,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you finally got to those like 4 moves that Jey leans on, like a crutch, they
Mhm.
actually meant something. Because he was able to go through all these reversals. And even though there was times when I'm like, oh man, Jay's timing on that is off as hell,
Mm-hmm.
it still worked. Like, it was such a deliberate pace. When the match started, I tapped my phone to find out the time. And I was like, okay, we got 29, 30 minutes for this. Good. Let's see what they do with this. Because my
Mhm.
worst fear was like getting to like 8:45 Eastern Standard Time and being like, oh God, we're going to have like 1,000 super kicks and this and that and the other. No, they started off and there was a lot of grapples and a lot of reverses. And I'm like, and Jay was doing pretty damn good for someone who does not do that in the ring ever. Jay was hanging. I'll give him credit. Now, I know I've torn into him a lot. I'll give him credit. He was hanging for someone that's not his gimmick. That's not his bent in terms of what he does. He did pretty well there. And I was like, all right, this is actually working. Like, this actually adds some, and afterwards I'm thinking like, I really hope that he watches this back and takes some notes. Like, oh, you mean if I do some of this stuff, it works?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Or as he would say, huh. Yeah, no, dude, it was, but what was your reasoning for that? I'm sorry, I kind of steamrolled over
Reasoning for what?
that. For
Sorry.
why it was Jey Uso's best match. Because you said, do you know why?
Because largely he was facing someone who, I mean, when I saw the pacing of that match, that is not that there's a formula to Punk's matches, but that was a Punk paced kind of match. It's not heavy on a lot of super kicks and kind of flashy crap right at the beginning. It's establishing, kind of a pace. It's working, the fans into a lather for what becomes, kind of the near falls and kind of the teases for the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets people emotionally teed up. I mean, this is like what he did with Gunther.
Yes.
It was a great, he and Gunther had a great match because they worked a slow, methodical pace to work up to what became the end of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw what they were doing, I wasn't surprised, because this is, again, I don't want to give Punk all the credit because it's Punk, but I mean, he is a student of the game, and these sorts of matches, he loves Bret Hart. He is a student of, Bret Hart and other past wrestler, matches where, Mr. Perfect and others, where there was a methodical pace to it. And so it didn't surprise me that it played out the way that it did.
Mm-hmm.
And it benefited Uso because he didn't have to throw his entire arsenal in the first 5 minutes of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's where Jay's getting really exposed, is, as we talked, I mean, actually, he was exposed when he and Jimmy faced off at WrestleMania, because
yeah.
the two of them showed how limited they are on offense
Mm-hmm.
together. He does a suplex. He needs to do more. Like there needs to be more in the toolbox than what he has. And that's his main problem. Punk has a variety of moves that he breaks out across a match, and certainly you get a sense of where we are in the match based on what he breaks out. But no, the fact that that this match told a story the way that it did, I think, is in large part why you just made the comment you made on this was Jey Uso's best match, because he was facing an opponent that forced him into a position of, doing headlocks and taking time on holds and having things mean something instead of trying to rush to offense all the time, and so I really appreciated the match. I thought they did a great job of, doing a great back and forth of, Punk hitting the GTS early, but Jay going out of the ring, Jay hitting a super kick, not being able to get the pinfall, both of them trading each other's finishers, Jay getting a super kick and then a splash in, and Punk kicking out. They just had a lot of great near falls and dramatic, ability to build drama in the match that lend itself to finally when Punk, and the thing now that Punk needs to be careful about is it's starting to become commonplace where he does the GTS, falls to his knees, opponent bounces off the ropes onto his shoulders, he stands up. I mean, there was a point in the match where he actually fell over. I'm guessing that wasn't planned because they ended up, I think, rerunning the sequence. But it's just one of those things that's like, if you have to go to that well too many times, it just it kills it. It was great when he did it with Rollins. It's okay that he's doing it with Uso, but it's like enough, we can't keep doing this thing where it's like, bounce the guy off the ropes and pick him up on your shoulders and hit a second one.
Well, it becomes Crossroads where you need to hit three of them in order to put someone away.
I mean, that's just it. And they're really, we're starting to see the devaluing of some of these finishing moves because of the fact that you keep hitting them, and you're hitting them at a point in the match when the match isn't ready to end yet. And it's just like, you're killing these finishing moves because now they're not finishers. They're just, oh, he hit a move and he kicked out of it because of course he did. I mean, same with the splash that Jey Uso does. I mean, between the super kick and the splash, he should be putting the guy away. He doesn't. So it's like, what the hell else does he do now at this point? I mean, he's got the sleeper hold, but it's like, other than that, like what is it, So, so that to me is why this was probably, as you stated, Jey Uso's best match, because I think Punk brought out that, excellence in him through the sequencing, but also it kind of hid some of his limitations because it allowed for his flurry of offense to come later when it made sense for it to happen.
Yes.
So,
what'd you give this one?
I gave this 4.25. This was good. It was the crowning moment for Punk, and he.
Yeah, we didn't even say who won. Punk won, by the way.
Punk won, by the way. I'm going to stand up for a minute. Best in the world. There it is. Boom.
Yes, indeed.
I was wearing the shirt for the show today.
Well, I'm wearing my Bret Hart outfit. If you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, apparently so. The salmon colored,
the
pink colored shirt.
And we got the black.
Oh, there you go. Very nice. But this is the belt that Punk should have got. Instead he has that pretender belt. So.
Oh my gosh, dude, you drooled over how good that belt looked.
Well,
we both did.
Good. Yeah.
It is a fine looking belt, especially compared to the undisputed championship. Which is just kind of
that is, yeah. Because it captures the spirit of the big gold belt.
Yeah.
Indeed. And by the way, did you catch in the commentary that, or I think it was at the start of the event, when Cody was facing off against Drew, Michael Cole said it is 40, the 40th right? anniversary of the Hard Times promo.
Oh, that was great. I'm glad they noted that down. That was really nice.
No, it was great to see. Now, one thing I was looking out for was, were they going to pull kind of a switcheroo and have Punk be the new leader of the Vision or something? Like have the Vision come out and screw Jey Uso and have Punk be the leader, realigning himself with
God,
Heyman.
I was hoping not.
I was hoping not to, but I was wondering if that was going to happen. And then I was wondering, was there some stupid thing they were going to do where Punk wins and somehow loses it again? But thankfully that didn't happen. I think it was good that it was what it was. And, going into Monday Night Raw, it's going to be different to see Punk with the belt. I mean, Punk has been fighting with, Punk has just been himself. He hasn't had a championship. And now that he has one, it's going to be different. And I'm kind of curious where they go now from here. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. It's just, it's going to be different.
Yeah, I agree. I also gave it 4.25. Match of the night and extremely entertaining, solid psychologically. The one thing that makes me think is if they're serious about Jey Uso being main event Jey Uso, and if they're really heading towards a heel turn with him, they're going to literally have to change almost everything about him.
Yes.
He is not going to be able, no more yeeting.
No yeet. Can't come through the crowd. Can't be doing the all that stuff. I mean, yeah, everything about him has to change.
Actually, you know what? He can come through the crowd. Here's what he does. Comes to the crowd to silence.
Comes out to the crowd. Comes out through the crowd to boos.
Yes.
And I don't mean booze. I mean boo. That's what I mean.
I think doesn't Jay have himself a few moving violations?
Couldn't remember if it was him or Jimmy, but one of them.
I can't either. Well, I mean they're twins, so it's So yeah, but they're gonna have to change everything about him because that's going to be the thing, and that will have to ultimately be the thing that if you're going to really turn him, that will show whether he has any dynamics to him. And hopefully, man, there could be a lot worse things for him than to then have to run a couple of house show loops wrestling Punk every night.
Yeah.
And Punk being like, okay, and we're going to do this tonight, and we're going to do that tonight. Because you saw Punk go and drop 3 elbows, like standard dropping an elbow.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've seen anybody do that.
Yep.
In a match.
That's what I mean.
For a long time.
He's a student of the game. You know what I mean? And it's that was a great touch that they.
But it worked with the way that he dropped it, and at the point in the time, all of it. It was like it works. So it's there'd be a lot worse things. But again, it's not like Jey Uso is a young up and comer. So depending on how much he wants to change, we'll see where it goes.
Yep.
Overall, how'd you feel about this event?
Overall, what?
Overall, how'd you feel about the event? I'm not going to ask necessarily for a letter grade. I mean, if you want to give one, go right ahead.
I mean, it was good. It was, like I said in the Cody Drew match, I just, that match kind of felt to me like the most, the one that felt the most predictable. The other ones, I mean, Cargill and Stratton, you could kind of see where it was going.
Yeah.
The triple threat, it was hard to tell if they were going to pull the trigger or not on a title change. And then the Punk Uso main event was great because there was an argument for either one of them winning, and
When it's
it
vacant,
was,
so it's like it's anybody's game.
right. But it wasn't as, to me, it was more of a foregone conclusion Cody was going to beat Drew than it was, like I wasn't going into Punk Uso saying, oh, Punk has to win.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could see a case for Uso winning and Punk not, and there being plenty of story to, like, I was almost wondering if Punk was trying to do a thing where he didn't get the belt because he would rather be chasing or being, someone who's going after it rather than getting it. But now that he's got it, now we get, kind of a new chapter of story to tell with him as a champion as opposed to a challenger. So,
Yeah.
So I think overall, if I were to give it a letter grade, I know you weren't asking for one, but I'd probably give it like a B. I think it was a good event. It had 3 out of the 4 matches I felt were delivered on expectations, and not that Cody and Drew was bad. It was just, I don't know, for me something was lacking from it, and it kind of fell into the predictability department. So
True. I would also go with a B. Match quality certainly has something to do with it. I felt like all the matches accomplished the goal that they were trying to accomplish. Whether I agree with the goal or not, I mean, hey, that's not necessarily for me to decide. I'm just judging the final product. I also feel like just some of the changes they made in terms of the presentation from a production standpoint were good. I felt, honestly, like the biggest thing for me, like the biggest pain in the ass bitch and moan that I had about Saturday night's main event was the commercial breaks. They were terrible and interminable. The fact that this had far fewer, to me, made it a much better event. Like, if you have to take this off NBC, except for stuff like, Cena's last match or whatever, fine. Yeah. But even then, like, if you're going to if this goes back onto TV, you've got to figure out a way to do like picture-in-picture commercials or sponsorships or something, because the commercial breaks were just killed it. It was worse than any Raw or SmackDown. Like, it felt like the commercial breaks were twice as long. So that helped a lot too. But yeah, I'd give it a B for sure. I think it was a good event, fun event, good way to spend 2 hours.
All is good with the world because Punk is champ.
Yes. And now in another thing, a recommendation for our listeners and viewers. Let's try and speed through this one because we are hurtling towards 2 hours. What do you got for our listeners and viewers, sir?
Mine is simply going to be Chris Thiele. My wife and I, as I mentioned, saw him not this past Friday, but the one prior. He is a mandolin virtuoso who plays folk and bluegrass music. He recently did a interpretation of several pieces from Johann Sebastian Bach that is on a record that he has recently released, and that was the performance we saw, was him performing some of those songs, as well as some bluegrass and songs from his stints with Nickel Creek and with Punch Brothers. So he is an absolute delight to listen to. The concert we went to was literally him by himself on this grand orchestra stage playing the mandolin. A few of the songs he did had lyrics, so he was singing while he was playing. Some of them were just instrumental, especially the Bach pieces. Did a really cool effect where, when he needed rhythm, to kind of permeate through the song, he would just start stomping. He would start walking and just making sound on the stage, and it provided a great bass drum sort of feel to the playing that he was doing. But it was amazing to see just a person, with, for lack of a better term, with the balls to go out on stage with a mini guitar and perform some amazing pieces of music. I mean, just the fingers were flying. He was just incredible to watch. So if you have not ever sampled the work of one Chris Thiele, I would highly recommend it.
Very nice. My recommendation will be short and sweet. It is a family favorite for us. The Clooney Pit version of Ocean's 11.
You in or you out?
Gosh. Oh. So, you like Chicago? It's nice there if you like it. Now get in the house. Yeah, no.
Benedict will kill you, and then he'll go to work on you.
Yeah. Gosh, so good. Lest I forget, you're in the middle of the desert.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, Elliot Gould is so good. Oh, they're all so good.
This guy
Everybody is
actually
so good.
tasted real oxygen.
Oh my gosh. Pencilnet grabs a lockbox. Okay, we
good
could do this all night. But yeah, definitely check that out. 2001 version of Ocean's 11.
Danny, if you ask me that question again, you will not,
wake up
the
in
next
the morning. He's ready. And then he goes, my name is Lyman. Lyman Zerga. Just starts building the character right in front of you. Oh, freaking.
I love the scene when he walks into the casino and the schlep guy that knows him is like,
oh, yeah.
It's me. It's Bucky Buchanan.
From Sarasota. Oh, yeah. To get sold out by that guy. Like
I think that
crack.
movie is second only to Tombstone in terms of the lines that we quote from it.
Oh, so good. Oh my gosh! And which one's Yen? He's a little Chinese guy, and they, of course, they're all little Chinese guys because they're all like acrobats and stuff. Yeah. That's not like you don't see 6'10" acrobats. So it's like I don't know how good it's just this freaking impossible thing. It's like we got a grease man. We got a grease man.
We got a grease man. Do we need another person?
Oh my gosh, this is
really
so good.
Do you need another person? Yep. We need another person.
No, it's just Clooney talking to himself.
Right? Yeah. There's no Brad Pitt at all. He's just like.
You think we need another person? You think we need another person? Yeah. All right, we'll get another person. And then that one blink at the end by Brad Pitt.
Yep. Yeah.
That caught me. It took me like 4 times watching it to realize like he's not blinking the whole time. And then all of a sudden, just the chemistry. Anyways, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our Week in Geek Wednesday. Thank you all for joining us. You can find us at freerangeedc.com. We'll download all of our episodes there one by one. You can subscribe through the Podbean app. You can also find us on fine podcast purveyors elsewhere like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, all of those. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, you can send those to tim@freerangeedc.com. You can also find us in full HD video glory on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@freerangeedc. You can also find us on the Facebook and the Instagram. Both of those are @freerangeedc. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for us to sew this stuff up. Man, they call Tim. Take us home.
To the interwebs, we say this. You suspect. We don't know what your reputation is in this town, but after what you tried to pull today, you can bet we'll be looking into you. And to our friends listening, good day, ladies and gentlemen. And until that day comes, keep your ear to the grindstone.
You are worse than a homo. Now get the hell out of here!